Marvel Legends, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, Spider-Man 90s cartoon VHS series, Daredevil versus Hydro Man. Only Daredevil never encountered Hydro Man in the cartoon. What's going on, Hasbro? What is good, my peeps? It's the Ruckus Humming coming at you again with another action figure review. This time we have got a 2-pack, another offering from Hasbro Pulse. It's an exclusive, and it is continuing the VHS line for Spider-Man. Of course, paying homage to the 90s cartoon. This is a curious and unusual offering because it's Daredevil versus Hydro Man. Now, they never met up in the cartoon, and we have them here. They're both basically reissues, just repainted and packaged in this VHS style packaging, and they're done with cell shading so as to keep with the cartoon motif. So we'll check those out and see how well they stack up. The Daredevil is going to be based off of the newer Spider-Man book, the Renew Your Vows book. So that means it's super or ultra articulated, I should say. And Hydro Man is just it's a reissue. I believe it's retooled. We'll find out exactly what it looks like when we get them out of packaging. Speaking of the packaging, let's check it out right now. You see our cover. As always, we have a good guy, bad guy going on, and they always have them going at one another. And it's no different here. Side, this is exactly what the VHS line is all about. The packaging comes in the form of looking like old school VHS. Some of you guys are too young to know what's going on with that. But back in the day, VHS videotapes would look just like this, and we'd line them up just like that. And yeah, so that's basically it. Number 1 is Daredevil. Number 2, Hydro Man. On the rear, we have some digital imagery of the 2 figures in question, and of course Daredevil versus Hydro Man. And then on the other side here, I'll turn it to horizontal so you can see what we got going on that way. And then finally we have the Spider-Man logo at the top. This is the same logo that we got for that cartoon from back in the day. And here we have both our figures out of the packaging right now. And coming around first, we see Daredevil, and he is straight up cell shaded out. A lot of black in there. And now coming around on his side, we've got Hydro Man, and you see he is totally translucent blue, trying to simulate a water effect. And there are changes to Hydro Man. We'll check that out when we do a comparison. You know that's going to happen. Anyway, you see what's going on. Let's take a look at the accessories that we've got with these guys, starting with Hydro Man. And as I fumble around with this stuff so I can just get them in frame, we've got these water effects. And you see they're also molded in transparent or translucent blue and frosted at the white to give it a wave slash splashy look. I can't speak today. On the rear, we've got the housings. You see they're mostly shaped for feet and legs to go in, and but they can be used for arms. I'm sure they're probably a little bit loose, but you can still use them for that. Set those aside. And next up, we have another set of hands for Hydro Man. As you can see, as he's coming around, his left arm has a fist and his right arm open hands. And we have the opposites going on right here, also translucent. As far as Daredevil is concerned, we get 2 sets of additional hands. He's got splayed out hands, as you can see here. And then we also have a set, oh, if I can get it correct here, a set of fists, of course molding the same red as he comes out of packaging. Out of packaging, he's got a set of C grippers, and we also get another head sculpt. I'm trying to see, I'll have to get closer up to see what the difference is with the 2 heads. I won't zoom in now. I'll zoom in when we inspect in detail Daredevil, and I'm seeing what's going on now. He's gritting his teeth on the figure. So, but we'll take a closer look when we take a closer inspection of the Daredevil figure. Finally, we have his billy clubs. I can't speak today. What would Daredevil be without these? So yeah, these are, and you see they've got these portholes in the center, or maybe I need to zoom in a bit so you can see the holes right there. And the reason you have those portholes, and that's to accommodate this this strand of plastic there. This is to show Daredevil, you know, ejecting the line. You could either, of course, go with one, or you can port both sides in, and that's what you have there. So those are the accessories that come with Daredevil. We'll kick off with Hydro Man, as he is totally translucent here, trying to simulate a water effect. So trying to get a look at the face print, which of course is also the digital printing, but it's somewhat difficult to discern a little bit because of the translucency. But let's see what we can see, shall we? So looking at it closer up, you can see the finer details in there. So still pretty good. But yeah, from distance, they all just kind of wash away. See what I did there? Anyway, he's got a grin going on. You do have some distinction in the eyes, as the pupils are white, or rather the eyes are white and the pupils are a black color there. The hair has got, if you look at that, we've got some white translucency going on there, so that's pretty cool. Looking there from the profile, it's looking real nice there. Very nice. I like that effect that we're getting with it not being all blue. So that's pretty cool. As you go up the figure, you can see we get more of that. Those lines are supposed to be the Hydro version of cell shading. As you can see there, we've got them on the shoulders, right there on the chest, the lower torso, both sides of the arms. And when we look at the legs, we've got them right there on the thighs. Nothing's going on in the back at all. Everything is on the front, and the thighs are where the cell shading ends. So that's what we've got going on there. Comparing him with his previous version, this Hydro Man came from the Spider-Man Molten Man wave. And you see our boy Maury Bench, that's his government name there, is basically in human form, with the exception of the arms, which are in water form. And the primary difference is the head sculpt. They are different head sculpts, and they changed it up a bit for this VHS 2-pack. Unfortunately, the arms that we have here on the Molten Man version, they are a different kind of shade of blue. The hands, I should say. Well, you know, the whole thing. So, I mean, and the pegs don't work. So You can't even use them on our completely watery Mari. And yeah, so that's pretty unfortunate. The Molten Man version of Hydro Man also came with these the same water effects for the feet as our VHS version. They just don't have that frothy look to them, but they function the same. Hydro Man comes with all of the standard articulation that we know Marvel Legends to have given us before. He's got the ab crunches and the waist swivels and hinged neck for the head. No butterfly joints, but he can still perform well without them, as you can see from some of these subtle, quick poses that I've installated. One good thing about having the water effects on the feet, it makes him easier to stand up and pose. You can get him into some poses that would otherwise prove problematic. Still in all, it would have been nice to have gotten some additional water accessories. Next up is Daredevil, and you can see all of that shading we've got on him. I know it's supposed to be like for the cell shading, but I also think that this will help. I'd have to see. I'm not as adept as most when it comes to dioramas, but I think all of this black here will help if you get the proper lighting, and you could have your figure melt into the shadows. Something to think about. Anyway, there's that the portrait that I was telling you about where he's gritting his teeth, whereas this particular one is totally on the stoic tip. So you can get a close-up look at him. There are your differences right there. And they both have more or less the same shading around the eyes and the forehead. But yeah, one is a neutral head sculpt and the other one is gritting teeth. See, this is what I'm talking about. Any of you guys that have been rock with me, you know this is what I'm talking about. You're going to give us two portraits, make one neutral and make one showing some type of exertion expression. As far as the rest of him is concerned, once again, he's on that ultra posable buck, so that means he's got his neck is on a dumbbell joint, and he's got the diaphragm and the inverted crunch, so you get that action going on there. So you can get him to bend over that far and that far back. It's pretty crazy right there. And he also has butterfly joints. Like I said, this is the ultra posable buck. Look how far back he can rear. And then, of course, we always try to see what's going on with that clap, with the coming together part of it. If I can get him to come together, there we go. Mine's kind of sort of clicks. So that's about the closest you can get with that. He's got, of course, the drop downs with the legs, and most importantly, to help with posing, he's got toe articulation. You gotta love that for sure. So that is definitely, that's Daredevil on the super posable buck, or I said it wrong again, ultra posable buck. The toes make it ultra posable. And as I stated previously, this is not the first time we've seen Daredevil on the ultra posable buck. On our right is the first iteration, and this came in that Daredevil 3-pack that consisted of Elektra in her white costume, and also Bullseye with a blue torso. Bullseye was definitely the least desired in that 3-pack. I guess they just wanted to have, the three characters that are, closely associated. If you know any of the history between Daredevil, Elektra, and Bullseye, you know what I'm talking about. And of course, with all of those, with all of that articulation, you've got all kinds of posing possibilities here. So you should have no small amount of fun posing your Daredevil for sure. And this is the whole reason for having the ultra posable buck right here with the toes. You can get your character to get decently low to the ground. There is one caveat to the ultra posable buck that I would suggest get changed, and that's it's taken a step back, but I think it works with this particular buck, and that's do away with the dumbbell in the neck and bring back the hinge. I say that because this is the furthest up you can get that head. So unless you have Daredevil perched on something that lifts him up kind of sort of this way, he's always going to be looking down. Now, when you're talking about Daredevil, it's okay, because anybody that knows about Daredevil knows that he's a blind or eyesight challenged individual. So it probably doesn't it isn't as impactful. But this is the same issue with any of the Spider-Men that we have in the on the Renew Your Vows buck. So it is an issue. So I think if we actually went on and had the go back to the hinge, the neck hinge, I think that would be cool. But everything else is on point for getting your more agile, athletic characters into crouching poses like that. And to give you an idea of how that makes it easier, here is Sabretooth. I don't know if he'll stand for me, but the reason I'm brought Sabretooth out is because you can get him, despite the fact being on that big ass Omega Red body. You can get him into poses, and this pose right here, the reason he's in that pose, this is taken from the 90's X-Men volume comic issue 6, and I believe it's page 19. He actually crouched similarly to this. So I was trying to see if I could get him in the same pose on this body, since this is the latest and the greatest Sabretooth we've ever had. And but you see the differences right there. See how I've got to have the feet on in that cell, that panel in that particular book. He was on his toes too, like Daredevil is, but you can't do that. But I still managed to get him to stand up. The other reason I used Sabretooth, it was coincidence because I was messing with him, but Daredevil has been in a limited series recently in the comics that was a throwback to when he was wearing the black armored costume that he refused to refer to as armor. The Back in Black days, he went up against Sabretooth and Hobgoblin. And so this is paying homage to that as well. Giving my closing thoughts on the Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse exclusive Spider-Man 90s cartoon VHS series Daredevil versus Hydro Man 2-pack. That is a mouthful. Very unusual pairing considering they never met up in the cartoon, but we did get 2 figs. Both are more or less reissues. The question will always arise, did we need this or not? So that, of course, is subjective. That's up to the individual in question. Those of you that have been rocking with me know that I'm a neurotic completionist, so I was getting it regardless. And it is what it is. Before I forget, as far as this particular end shot is concerned, I got the idea from @Century Productions. Shout out to him. I will reach out and let him know and thank him accordingly. Anyway, look him up if you want to see some of his work on Instagram. Anyway, our guy Maury Bench, totally translucent, and we got the same water effects that we got previously, only they're better paint apt, as they've got the frothy tendrils at the top there to give a more definitive splash effect. And of course he's translucent to make him look like water. And then of course we've got Daredevil himself on the ultra superposable buck, aka the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body. And he's got the crazy cell shading going all over the place. I still think that I haven't messed with it yet, but I will. I'm interested to see if I can get him to like melt into the dark with all that black he's sporting. Comes with two head sculpts, one gritting, one neutral, just the way I like it. I really hope that Hasbro will incorporate that motif more often, because I think that helps both types of collectors: neutral, static collectors, and action posers. So I think that would do very well. What else would do very well is if you guys leave comments below on whether or not you like this set, if you're going to get this set. What do you think? Your thoughts on that, or anything you want to talk about. Give a thumbs up. Share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit that notification bell so you can be informed when another video from me goes up. And that's how it gets done.